sexual dynamic, the sexual chemistry that we had or didn't have.
What was lacking?
I'm sure everybody at this table can have an experience where you have had partners where you just naturally click with them. You just naturally, there's just a connection, there's an energy between you, and it just works. And then you can be with another partner where you may get along with them really well, but the sexual dynamic is not there. And there's no way of making it work. There's no amount of counseling, there's no amount of practicing that you could do to fix it. And that's where I fell short with my husband. I loved him, but I didn't have that intrinsic part that you need with a partner that makes it different from every other relationship that you have.
Wait, you guys were married for 5 years, was it?
No. So we dated from the time I was 23 to 30, off and on. It wasn't one period of time.
Oh, it was an off and on again relationship.
It was an off and on relationship.
And then you did get married, though.
We got married, and we were married for a year and a half.
You got married and then off.
The reason why I was so hell-bent on marrying him is because for the longest time he wasn't ready or didn't want to commit to me. So and that's the reason why we would always break up, is because I wanted to be in this committed relationship, but he was not willing to give me that. So I would break up with him, and then we would get back together and again and again.
How many times was it off and on?
A lot. He moved a couple times.
10 times less?
Maybe 5.
5 times. Who would reinitiate?
I think me, because I just,
you?
I loved him so much.
You would break up and you would reinitiate?
Yes. I just loved him so much. I just couldn't let him go because I was convinced that he was my person, and I was just willing to make the sacrifice of maybe not getting everything that I wanted at the time.
But you eventually got married. Mm-hmm. Who initiated the divorce?
It was mutual.
It was mutual?
Mm-hmm. I think we were both unhappy for different reasons.
What was I don't know if you said it, what was the reason for the divorce? Was there infidelity? Or
No.
It was just what?
The
sex was bad? Was that the reason for the divorce?
I think I can only speak for myself because I can't speak for somebody else, but I think for me, the reason why I personally didn't want to be married to him for the rest of my life was because I could see myself cheating on him, and I didn't want to do that. And so I decided to make the decision to break up because I was,
Excuse me?
I was just unhappy sexually. I felt like I couldn't ever connect with my partner. He had a lot of emotional walls.
Were you guys having sex, or was it a dead bedroom?
We were also trying very hard to conceive for most of the time that we were engaged and married. So we were having a lot of sex, but
did you have a kid with him, or is this from a different man? Okay, you have one kid, different man. Wait, and you got married before or after you had a kid?
I got married at 30 and I had my child at 35. So I was
with a different person.
Yes.
Okay. Wait, so did you tell him that the sex wasn't really doing it for him?
Yes. We had we talked about, okay, well, do we need to go to therapy, and maybe we need to practice the way we kiss with each other, and we would openly talk about the fact that we wanted to fix this as a couple, as a unit, as a partnership.
What was his explanation there? Would you climax?
I would make myself.
You okay. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't able to make you climax?
Not him alone, no.
Have other partners been able to do that?
I usually always have to help myself along.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But it was for my husband and I. It was just
a guy's never been able to make you climax?
Yes, but it's more rare.
It's very rare.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to get. Are we talking clitoral orgasm or?
I've only had
G-spot?
that. I would say maybe I could probably count on one hand.
And is that like something that, because for some girls it can be a mental thing, like it's maybe there's not a level of comfort there, or
I was very comfortable with him. What the problem was is it was just very mechanical.
For you?
No,
did you watch porn?
No.
Did you use toys?
No.
So with your own hands, you'd be able to get yourself to climax.
I just didn't feel that he had a lot of emotional blocks that he wasn't comfortable talking about, and so I think it inhibited me from feeling that super deep intimacy with him, and I need that in a partner.
In order to climax? Yeah. Was the sex bad because the guy couldn't make you climax, or were there other reasons why the sex was bad?
It was bad because it wasn't intimate, and there wasn't love, and there wasn't romance.
You mean he just like wanted to hit it from the back, basically? Like all the time?
Did you feel empowered when you were with him? That's the question.
No, not at all.
Okay, there you go.
The sex wasn't intimate? What do you mean?
There wasn't...
Was he really into rough sex? Was that?
Kind of. I mean...
And you wanted more gentle sex?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I see. Oh, no, I get that.
And I think he was willing to give that to me and compromise, but what was missing at the end of the day was that pure intimacy that you can only get when you're really vulnerable with another human being, and he wasn't able to give me his full vulnerability. So I always felt like he was holding back.
I mean, I'm not... That sounds a little bit like... I'm not sure why that's a component of the sex being bad, but...
For me, it is. I have to have really emotionally connected sex for... I mean, don't get me wrong. I like to be, railed every once in a while. But most of the time, I like to have a close, loving, bonded connection with my partner, and I just never felt that with him.
But you said you loved him, right?
I did.
So the sex was bad from a technical perspective, or there was a missing connection, comfort,
it was,
intimacy?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what it was.
I think she said both. Emotional connection.
He
and
was
then
always
also
holding
just
back,
different...
and I felt that. I felt like he
holding
wasn't...
back sexually?
No, emotionally. I felt like he
That's
was
what
always...
men do. That's the name of the game. We don't...
Yeah, but not with your wife.
How was he holding back?
He wasn't allowing himself to be fully present with me. I think he was scared.
What do you mean fully present? I mean, it's obviously, I imagine this is something that's hard to precisely articulate, but without actually seeing the dynamic or knowing the dynamic, but it wasn't just sexually. He held a lot of secrets from me in general, and I felt it the most in the bedroom.
Yeah, you have to pay attention to how you feel when you get...
I don't know, man. From a guy...
I don't know, man. That sounds like a lot of work.
It sounds like kind of a lot of work.
I disagree. I mean, you don't even want to get married to someone, but like there's a level of intimacy, and I can speak on that. But she said the
sex was bad.
Yeah, but I can speak on that as a sex worker.
But you said that you want to test drive, so like for you it wasn't this thing of like when you're dating somebody new, how long do you typically wait before having sex with them?
A couple, like at least a week or two, sometimes longer, but it's usually a few dates in.
Okay.
It's usually never the first date.
So the sex is always going to be bad?
No.
Well, I'm just confused because like...
It was just bad with him because I just didn't ever feel close to him. I thought it felt just very mechanical. Like the sex that you get when you meet somebody for the first time and you're just banging, that's what it felt like for me. It didn't feel like the love and the intimacy that you're supposed to feel with your lifelong partner.
Okay.
I know what you're saying. I completely actually like understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I do too. That's why I was trying to like give a little,
You can have amazing, great sex on paper.
Or camera.
Like, for example, one of my last boyfriends was a perfect 10 on paper. He hit all of the boxes. We had theoretically great sex, but we didn't have that connection, and so our relationship only lasted for a couple months because he felt it and I felt it, and it was just like a mutual, this was great while it lasted, thank you very much, but I'm gonna be on my way. And
I don't know, man. That sounds like a lot of work.
so what it sounds like to me, Brian, is you
That
have had a
sounds
lot of
like-
mechanical sex, but you haven't had a lot of really intimate, wonderful, beautiful sex because you don't even
had-
know what I'm talking about.
No, it just seems like you want this sort of vague, nebulous, ethereal thing, which
The people
like,
who know
the Disney-
know. The people who know what I'm talking about. That's all I have to say.
Well, I mean, I'll actually throw this out there. I actually don't like the rough sex that you speak of. I actually prefer more intimate, gentle sex.
There you
I'm
go.
not clear if that's what you're really... Why are you looking at me that way? Look, I get that you want to just like have super crazy rough sex. Relax. Not everybody's into that, okay? Chill out, bro.
I'm just trying to see what you're gonna say.
No. I actually prefer... I don't want to like do the fucking jackhammer.
yeah.
Okay, but
That's
have
not
you had a
interesting to me.
real connection? Like, have you felt that super deep connection with someone?
Like, have you looked into a woman's eyes and just like held her hand and have it be this beautiful moment between you two, like two souls bonding together? If you've
That's-
never,
It doesn't have to be that.
You want
intense.
some Disney
It
shit.
doesn't have to be that.
Yes.
intense.
On
But
some
you know
Disney
a difference
shit.
between like when you have
That
a
sounds
connection
kind
and you
of...
don't
I
have a
can't
connection.
say the word. I'm not going to say the word, but that sounds kind of...
no, that's
You
just,
know what I
I
mean?
think
No,
what
you just
real
have a-
true intimacy is.
I
And
think
I don't
your
think,
expectations be kind of crazy when it comes
No.
to sex.
Okay, my question though, have you had experiences where you feel more connected than another? If you're having the same type of sex, have you felt more connected to one person over the other emotionally during the sex?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so that's exactly what she's saying.
But
To her
And it's
extent
not-
is not exactly your extent, but it does make sense, right? Of that different level of connection.
and it's not a lot of work when you have a natural intrinsic connection. It works.
But
and
that's
you don't have
why
to think about it.
It makes sense to test it out before you get married in certain people's scenario. If you're not for religious reasons, that's totally cool and that's your own thing. But like for some people, that's not what they believe in. So
I'm a little lost, to be honest. I'm not even sure where to tackle that from. Maybe your expectations are a little too high.
And that's possible. I was blessed enough to be intimate with somebody who blew my mind in every way possible. And it wasn't the sex, it was the intimacy, it was the love, it was the connection. And so I have a pretty high benchmark from which to base my future connections. And
You're screwed. Screwed.
I would tell
That's
him all the
fucked.
time. And if you're watching, he knows. I would tell him all the time, you ruined me. You literally ruined
Alpha
me
widow. This is
now
what
I
Red
have
Pill
this super
is all
high
about.
expectation. So I'm very aware of it.
There's this, I don't like the term alpha, but it's actually a good descriptive thing here. So you've been with a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Was he, I mean, the sex itself was great, but was he also like really attractive and like hit a bunch of check marks too?
I don't think. Yes and no. I don't think. Well,
Yo,
I
this
personally-
shit is dangerous. Once a girl gets fucked a certain way, bro, you guys are fucked. I'm
yeah,
sorry,
I'm
dude.
sorry.
Yeah, I
I'm
agree
sorry.
With that.
I'm sorry, but I would say.
It's over.
I would say he was
over.
a traditionally
Done
attractive guy. I don't know.
This
if
is
he
why
was
body.
a 10 out of
This
10.
kind of segues into our next conversation that you wanted to talk about is body count.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing: once you've fucked enough guys, you've landed on a certain dude that just like it might not even be sex, but it could be like he's just so fucking attractive, or
Mm-hmm.
his status, or just like something, his charisma, or the way you feel about him, that is not going to be easily replicated in other men, and you're going to use that guy as the benchmark for all the other guys going into the future.
Absolutely. I have a really great analogy for
But
that.
this actually
It's-
almost let me just add
men
one
do
thing.
that too, though.
Not really.
Yeah, they do.
Not really. It's a bit different. This actually stems back to the rating thing. So here's where women get into big trouble. Because you have sexual access to men that you can't get commitment from, if you fuck those really attractive dudes that will never give you commitment, And then like the guys who will actually commit to you are like 1, 2, 3 points down, either their sex game, status, money, whatever it is. You're going to be comparing the guy who you can actually get commitment from to the guy who you can't get commitment from. And that makes for a terrible fucking relationship because you think you've settled when really you're just shooting out of your league. Huh?
Talking about physical is not the same as what she's talking about, though.
Exactly.
She was talking about connection that whole time.
Mm-hmm. Do you not know what connection is?
No,
Okay, so let me give
I'm
you
just
my
saying,
analogy.
like, that's not the same thing of
Excuse
like.
me.
At the end of the day, in terms of sex, what we were talking about is looking for that specific connection. So like,
What does that even mean?
I'm
The
confused.
connection.
You only-
If you've
gonna
never
explain to
experienced
you.
it, it's hard to
Yeah.
quantify
The
it.
vibe. You guys are
Wait.
talking about the click, the chemistry, the
Wait.
vibe.
yeah, is there such thing
have
as
you
sexual
never
chemistry? Do you-
experienced that connection
Well,
with somebody?
there's sexual chemistry and then there's romantic chemistry. I'm sure you would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can feel the click or vibe for somebody before you've had sex with them, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
100.
But sexual chemistry is what she's talking about.
Okay.
There is
But
zero.
it sounds like you're holding these men to this this one guy just fucked
And I'm
you
not
really
denying
proper.
that. He
And
literally
no,
ruined
but she
me,
actually
yeah.
admitted it. She said from her own mouth, she said, he ruined me for other men.
But like,
And that's precisely why segueing here, why I think body count matters. Because eventually it's like Russian roulette. Well, not Russian roulette. You keep rolling the dice and eventually you're going to land on a dude who fucks you just right or who's just attractive enough. And then all the guys, let's assume that relationship doesn't work out. That's the benchmark for all the other guys moving forward. And it sets those men up for You're going to disappoint your girl.
But there's always
Just saying.
the
Just
potential
saying.
to form a new bond or a new connection with that partner. So it's
Bro,
it's not completely.
That's so okay. You said that like
So let
while you're fucking these like new men, do you think about the guy who put it down just right? That's such a oh my god, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I can
I don't-
analyze
That's so
that.
crazy, dude.
I don't think that way.
She's having sex with other
I can
men.
analyze
She's having
that.
sex with other
So-
men, and she's thinking about the guy who did it just right.
So I can answer
Oh
that.
my God, that's
I can answer that question. So the reason why
That's crazy.
the reason why I knew I needed to get a divorce was because I have a crystal clear memory of me having sex with my husband and thinking about this other guy and me knowing in that moment I have to divorce him because if I don't get
I've
out
done
of this
that
marriage,
before.
I'm going to cheat on him. I'm going to try to find this.
That's
And I know
happened
that's
to
really
me.
fucked up, but I didn't want to be
No,
a
it's
cheater.
not. It's not. That's happened to me too.
So while you were, hold on, let me recap here. While you were having sex with your husband, you were thinking about another man who you were who you had better sex with. And because the sex with your husband wasn't as good as the sex with this other man, you wanted to get a divorce.
It wasn't the sex, it was the connection. But yes.
It was the realization
100%.
too.
The guy who was really good in bed, how long did you date him for?
6 months
And how soon did you have that connection after meeting him?
immediately. It was immediate.
You wait, hold on. I thought a connection is something that takes a while to develop.
No, it's that intrinsic connection that you either have or you don't with a person. It's either there
Well,
or
there's
it's
a
not.
difference.
So just
now you
base
can
primal-
you can build on that connection to
Are you-
have form deeper connections,
Wow,
but
this is a red pill if I've ever fucking
No,
heard
but
one.
there's different types of connections. There can be a sexual connection.
Well,
there
this
can
was a
be
base primal
mental
connection. You had the click.
You've never had that before?
Why did it not work out with this guy?
because he was a lot younger than me, and I didn't want younger meaning he was in a completely different stage in his life from me, and I didn't want to hold him down by being in a relationship with me. I kind of made the sacrifice to let him be young and
Yeah,
and
that
experience
happens,
his
yeah.
youth and not be tied down by me.
Was he? What arc? archetype was he a bad boy
Archetype.
archetype?
He was cocky, but
Archetype.
Yeah.
but sweet.
Cocky but sweet. Tattoos?
No,
No tattoos? Okay.
pretty much the antithesis of what my type is, I should say.
He was the opposite of what your type is. What's your type?
Tall, dad bod, not cocky,
So
down
he was
to earth.
short?
He was not short. I think he was right about my
Was he
height.
ripped?
Skinny. No, skinny.
Okay.
Bad skin.
Bad skin.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I saw beyond the physical. I just fell in love with who he was.
Were there any like did he have any personality disorders?
No, he was the most normal. He was so mature. Like, I met him when I was 20 and he was 22, and at 22 he was already a pilot. He was already working in aviation. He was already on his way towards his aviation career, and he was just very goal driven.
Hilly donated $100. It's beyond fucked up. Brian's right. Good men get fucked over cause of your fairy tale delusion. Disgusting. After you segue into body count, can we ask why they deserve this man that they dream of?
I didn't say I completely am. I don't live in Delululand. I am very aware that it's fucked up. Thus, why I wanted to get a divorce, because I didn't want to be that awful person that cheated on her husband.
At least she's aware of her like actions. A lot of people can't be aware of that, and they don't validate it.
Nickelodeon donated $100. And they say pair bonding isn't real. Girl, you're ruined.
I am.
Take the guy that's willing to love you and be happy you got it.
Soul ties
Though,
are real.
after this show, that will probably be harder. Go back to our hubby.
Well, he's married to somebody else.
Soul
Thank
ties
you.
are real. Soul ties are real.
This is crazy. I mean, this is a huge difference. Nickelodeon, I appreciate your message. We have another one here that's about to come in.
Jesus Christ.
Loose Pussy Energy donated $100. Holy shite, these hoes are fucking haram. Thinking of other dudes while your husband is fucking you? Brian, Abdul is sharpening his rocks. He would like to see this 304 ASAP. Hashtag get the fucking rocks.
Well, when
Damn.
I agreed with her, I was thinking about a girl, not another guy. Just saying.
And I'm not a 304. Sorry.
I'm almost at a loss for words here. That's crazy. That's wild.
Yeah. If anything, I'm 100% honest. I'm not
Well,
delusional. I know.
I credit you for your honesty and
Exactly.
actually being able to admit that,
She's
because that's
spreading awareness by doing that. You thought that was funny?
It's
no
definitely
comment.
not mainstream.
I mean, this look really quick on the whole click chemistry vibe, lightning, butterflies, whatever bullshit term you want to attribute to it. I don't really believe in that.
Because you've never had it.
No, look, I've had women that I get along better with.
You've never
than
had
others.
it. If you can't.
No, because men and women are different.
No, once you
We're
get that
different.
feeling, you'll know that feeling.
That's
Trust.
just a cop-out.
It's not a cop out. It's just this like, it's this
Ryan, what
nebulous thing,
happened?
bro. Nothing
I actually
happens.
agree with them on this one.
That's fine if you agree, but it's like, here's what I think it is.
Who hurt you?
When you don't feel that, here's what it is. He doesn't trigger your anxious trauma response,
That I 100%
which you
agree with
confuse
you.
for love. That's what that is. That's what the click and the chemistry and the connection is. Or the other thing it could be is you'll feel that for a guy who's like really out of your league. That's the other way to trigger it.
No, I 100% am very aware of the whole butterfly thing. You're not supposed to want to feel butterflies with the person you have a potential partnership with, because your anxiety is heightened and your cortisol levels are heightened, that you should feel calm and at ease with your partner.
But
I guess
it's,
you're self-aware,
Still
but
not the
goddamn.
same thing
Yeah,
as
that's
sexual
your intuition.
chemistry.
No, but we're talking, okay, there's like differences here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's all I was talking about the whole time.
That's
Maybe we're
crazy,
just-
son.
not the same.
That's
I was
crazy.
explaining the difference too between that.
Well, I mean, if we're going off of the click or the chemistry or the vibe. Who here has felt, going around the table, starting with you, who here has felt that for somebody? Have you felt it? You felt it? You felt it, 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 you felt it. Well, I'm curious, did that person end up always being a good person that you felt that for?
Yes.
They always were a good person?
Yes.
They were always the one you should have been with?
No.
No.
Did any of those guys, let me ask you another follow-up question starting with you. Did any of those guys that you did feel the chemistry or the click or the whatever sparks, whatever the term is, with, did that guy turn out to be a piece of shit?
Yes, but there's a difference between the feeling that you feel. That's all I'm going to say. Continue.
Yes.
I'm still just talking about sexual chemistry.
Just romantic chemistry.
Romantic chemistry?
Yeah,
Did
'cause
they
you-
end up being a
you can-
piece of shit?
Yes.
Not in every scenario.
I'm not saying in every scenario, but have you felt it for a guy and turns out he really wasn't you probably shouldn't have picked him?
Yeah.
Okay, have you had that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, with other people, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not clear to me then if picking men based off of this nebulous click is really the optimum way of finding a partner.
It's
I
not,
don't
but
think
it's
anyone ever
nature.
said
It
that,
just
Brian.
happens sometimes.
Yeah, but we're not beholden to our base animal instincts of wanting that person that, maybe boring's good. Maybe unexciting is good. Because y'all are so, y'all got it's like you got your dopamine hits so fucked up. You need a guy who's like chaotic or introduces chaos into your life because you're addicted to the drama and the
You're
excitement.
chasing the feeling, yeah.
Not me.
You're addicted. You guys are addicts.
Why
You
not?
like the toxicity.
I am an
I
You
hate
like the
toxicity,
toxic
yeah.
guys.
I mean, to be completely fair, my 5-year, that was like, he was super boring in every way, and he had a feeding fetish, so
Well, that
no one's safe.
okay.
No one's
Nobody's
safe.
Ah,
I just think in terms, going back again to the sexual chemistry part, it's important for someone like me, and I said it's not for everybody, because if you're holding off until marriage or whatever, then that's totally like your own thing. But for me, I do want to make sure that I am sexually compatible with my partner before getting married.
I think that's fine. I think it's fine if you want to have good sex with a partner. I do think there's a difference, though, here between men and women. Men don't typically prioritize sexual experience in women.
I
Well, because
agree.
women
That's
really value like that intimacy.
What do you mean?
Exactly what you just said.
No, I think
Well,
Brian's saying, most men would prefer women that don't have a lot of sexual. Is that what you mean?
Sexual experience.
Yeah.
Men prefer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there's a differential here, though. It seems women either don't care or prefer men to have some degree or perhaps a great degree of sexual experience.
I never personally said that. I just
Okay.
feel like the
I
connection
think
has
that's
to be
kinda
there.
weird of men, though. Because like,
Is it
why?
weird?
Why do you want someone who's like freshly experienced? Like, it's kind of like
Okay.
it's giving you want a child or something.
And
you
if you
know?
look at biology, like men want
Okay,
to.
always with you do realize, like, for example, to make the extreme argument, like a woman could be 25 and still a virgin.
Yeah, duh.
What do you think? Let's just take your thing to the logical conclusion. What do you think is more P word? A man who wants to date a woman who's 25 who's a virgin, or a man who wants to date an 18-year-old who's had sex with 100 men? What do you think is more? And I don't actually. I mean, well,
A virgin.
you think it's more P word to
And
want to
he's
date a
older?
25-year-old? Let's say he's 28.
And how old is the girl?
I already gave you the numbers. She's 25 and she's a virgin versus an 18-year-old
Okay.
who's had sex with 100 men.
That's a hard one now because I thought the 18-year-old was a virgin.
No.
Fuck. Okay, yeah, I'm still gonna go with the virgin answer.
That makes absolutely no logical sense, but
That's fine.
okay. We have Sean here. Brian, put in a good word for me with, who's Bree? Here. I'll bring this back up when you come to the table then. Bro, so you're talking like age gap shit now? Or you think, do you think men who prefer women who have a low body count or who are virgins are predators? You think it's predatory, P words?
Not all of them, but it can give some
Into
traits.
the mic.
It can give some, not all of them, but it could give some traits for sure. Especially as, like I'm 22 and I was really, like I've always looked really young. Right now, I don't know how old I look, but I've always looked really young, like since a jit. So I've realized how men act and yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. That's all I gotta say.
So you think it's weird for men to prefer women of any age of any adult age with a low body count?
Virgin. Low body count's different.
Okay. So men who want to date women who are virgins are P words.
Not P words.
They're what then? It's just, it gives you the ick? Is that it? It just gives you the ick?
Potentially P word.
Potentially, well now you're going back, okay. It's potentially P word, why?
Should I say 50-50 of them are P word? Or should I just, fuck it.
So
What if they're the same age?
No, hold on. Say what you're gonna say, go ahead.
All of them are P words.
All men who want virgin women are P words.
But what if they're the same age?
Even if the woman is 30 and she's a virgin,
Is he religious?
I don't see how that's relevant. Let's say he's not.
If he's not, I'm just gonna say with both the answers, yeah. Yeah.
I think it just goes back. I actually agree with you on this
fucking
point. It goes
arse
back to like not wanting to have your girl compare you to anybody else. I don't know. My guy friends I've talked to, they're all like, I want to be her only experience doing XYZ, and
Yeah,
not just
I
like
get
sexual,
that
just in general,
viewpoint,
like
too.
experiences. Like, I want to be the only man that took you to this restaurant. If
Sure.
you've been
Yeah.
here before, don't fucking talk to me about it. That type of thing, because like I don't want to know. I want to be in my mind, like I want to be that only experience for you.
Yeah, I get
So
that
I think it's fair
view.
from that perspective. Do you agree with that mindset or no?
I agree.
For men to, yeah, I think.
To want to be like your only experience in their head, at least, of like,
Sure.
I'm doing this.
That's
I'm the only one
totally
that's ever
fair.
done this. For
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
I think it's totally
that's
fair and
as
it's
well.
totally natural.
Yeah.
And I think
To
on
have
the
that
flip
desire.
and I think on the flip side, women actually prefer men, and I'm not speaking in generalities, but women prefer men who have had more than one sexual partner because maybe it makes them more manly. Like they're experienced, they know what to do, they know what not to do. They could take the lead. Like I wouldn't want to be with somebody again that's a virgin or hasn't had sex all that much, because then I feel like I'm taking the masculine role, and I don't think women like that. So I think there's a dichotomy there.
Wait, we'll get to body count in just a sec. Going back to you, what is your argument for men who are attracted to women who are virgins? What's your argument there for it being P word?
Well, what's the reason
Into the
why?
mic.
What's the reason why they want to explore a new young body like that?
What if they're not young? What if it's a 30-year-old
Hilly
virgin?
donated $100. Feel for you, Brian. Don't think you'll get through to them. Ladies, men and women aren't the same. Most of this panel is 100% delusional. Men don't seek experience, they seek exclusivity and security.
Delulus.
Okay. What is your argument?
I just think it's a little weird.
Okay, you think it's weird. What's your argument?
I get what she was saying,
What are you saying?
but also it's just like, what's the intriguement behind a fresh new body like that? Because I don't know, because like I was saying, the P words, like young people who aren't experienced, just like a virgin, you know. And I'm just trying to make that connection for you, and if you can't click it, then that's okay. End of conversation.
Okay, words have meaning, definitionally.
Words or spells.
So, let's say, for example, a 25-year-old virgin. This is an adult woman. So what is the argument you're going to make that a man who's attracted to a 25-year-old woman who happens to be a virgin is in any way P word?
What's my argument? Like, what do you mean?
how are you coming to the conclusion that the man who's attracted to a 25-year-old secretly is attracted to what? You have to be under 15 or 14 to be considered
Well, the
to be
fact
attracted
that
to
he's
that?
been sitting there waiting for a virgin is kind of weird.
Who knows that that's the case?
But also, I know like the religious standpoint and all that.
Okay. Sure, let's go there. So are Christian men or Muslim men who want to date a virgin, are you prepared to make the argument that Christian and Muslim men are P words because they prefer virgins?
Christians, yes.
Why?
No comment. That's it.
Okay. So you're fine with attacking Christians but not Muslims. Is that what you're saying? I wonder why that is.
Me too.
If you really feel that way, I would like you to enlighten me.
Well, I've asked her to make an argument, and she can't.
And if you misspoke, then you can just say that you misspoke. But if you genuinely mean that, I would love to hear why.
Have you guys not? I'm sorry. I'm just not trying to like get like the government on this
The government's
shit.
no, you're good. But like,
Okay.
explain your thought, like fully, because
you think-
you came on a podcast to explain your opinions and to put your opinions out there. I'm a Christian. I would love to hear what you have to say about this. And if you want to recant your statement, recant your
No,
statement.
you're
and then
good.
we
You're
can
good.
move
Because
forward.
remember how I was talking about how they knocked on my door?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just see Christianity as, and I know you guys look at me like a demon, but I see it as kind of like a cult, low key, and you guys are being brainwashed, and I don't mean that in no disrespectful way.
Wait, just curious. Why are Christians, in what way are they being brainwashed?
I
Is it
already
because they believe in
explained
God?
it earlier.
I don't recall you explaining it.
Because okay, this is what they told me, and she explained it too, but she said, or the people told me, I was like, okay, so in order to go to heaven, Jesus committed his sins for us, so we came here as sinners, so we're already sinners. So that's what they told me, right? So I was like, okay, so in order to go to heaven, all I have to do is just like pray and believe in whatever. And then she explained to me like the differentiation between that. And I was like, oh, so that means if you're in our word or in whatever, you're still going to heaven. And yeah, and they're like, yeah. So that's why I was kind of like, what the
Okay,
frick?
but back to
Hold on.
what
Wait, one thing. You said Christianity is a cult. What about the other religions? Are you prepared to make that statement about the other religions?
No.
So why do you single out Christianity?
Because I've just been doing more research on that one right now.
I mean, if anything, I think you could make the argument about Catholicism.
You don't have
All right, we're
answer
getting into the weeds here.